In this lecture, we are going to continue learning about the document middleware, and in this lecture, we are going to focus on post-hook document middleware. So in the last lecture, we learned about document middleware, and we learned that document middleware in Mongoose is a function that runs before or after certain methods are called on a document instance. And these method includes save, validate, updateOne, deleteOne, and init. So again, in this lecture, we are going to take an example of this save operation to understand post-hook document middleware, but same will be true for other methods as well. So let's go back to VS Code, and here in the last lecture, we created a pre-hook middleware, actually two pre-hook middlewares for the save operation. And we also learned that this save event is raised when we use save method or create method in our application. So here, when we are using this save or create method while creating a hotel document, internally it is going to call the save method, and the save method, when it is called, it is going to raise the save event. So when the save event is raised, that means we are trying to save a document in the collection. So before that, this function will run. Basically, these two functions will run. And in the same way, we can also run some post logic. So for example, once the document, in this example, the hotels document is actually saved in the database, after that, if we want to execute some logic, we can make use of post hook middleware. And to create a post hook middleware, just like how we have used this pre method to create a pre hook on this hotel schema, in the same way, in order to create a post hook middleware on the hotel schema, we can use post method. And to this, as the first argument, we need to specify the operation, the event for which we want to create a post hook. Again, here I'm going to create a post hook for save operation. And then as the second argument, we need to pass a callback function. Again, here I'm using this regular function syntax, but in this example, I can also use the arrow function syntax, because inside this function, I'm not going to use this variable. Okay, but if you want to use this variable inside the function, then you will have to use regular function syntax. So actually, I'll use regular function syntax itself instead of using arrow function syntax. So let me use regular function syntax here. And in case of post hook, so in case of pre-hook, we receive a single argument, which is the next function. But in case of post hook, we receive two arguments. The first argument is the document which is created in the database. So we learned that this post save hook will be called once the document is saved in the collection. So after the document is saved in the collection, this function will be called. And when this function will be called, it will have access to the document which is created in the collection. And then we will also have access to the next function. So here, let me first go ahead and let me call the next function so that the next middleware in this stack will be called. And if you want, you can also go ahead and you can log this doc to check how this doc object looks like. Again, this doc will be assigned with the newly created document in the hotels collection. Here we are calling this post method on the hotel schema. That means whenever a new hotel document is created in the hotels collection, this function will be called. And at that time, this function will receive the newly created hotel document. So if I save the changes here, let's go to Postman and let me try to create one more hotel document. And here I'm going to call it as test hotel 3. Let me change the city to Mumbai this time. And in the description also, instead of New Delhi, let's say Mumbai. And city also, I have saved it to Mumbai. Okay, so if I send this request, a new hotel document will be created in the database. Here we have received 201 created. So a new hotel document, test hotel 3 in city Mumbai has been created. And if I go to the terminal and if I scroll down, here you will see that an object has been logged. And this object is nothing but this document which we are logging here. So this is the object which has been saved as a document in the hotel collection. Okay, so here we have access to that hotel document which has been saved in the collection. Now I don't want to log it. Instead, what I want to do is I want to add logging in this application. So whenever we are going to create a new document in the collection, I want to log it in a document, in a file. For that, what I'll do is let's create a new folder. Let's call it logs. And inside that folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'll call it as log.txt. And inside this log.txt, I want to log a message whenever a new hotel document is created. And for that, we are going to write the logic inside this post save hook. And since we want to do some file operation here, we also need to import the fs module. So here let's create a variable, let's call it fs, and to import fs module, let's use the require function, and there let's specify the module name as fs. Now let's scroll down to this post save hook function, and here let me create a variable. I'll call it as content. Okay, and here I'm going to use backticks. And what do we want to log in the log file? So first of all, I want to show the current date and time. So for that, I'm going to use new date constructor. Okay, this will return us the current date and time when we are logging the message. After that, here I want to say a new hotel document with name, and then I'm using single quotes here. Inside that single quotes, I want to display the name of the hotel. So the name of the hotel we can get from the document object. So here I can say doc.name is created by, and then again I want to use single quotes, and inside that I want to display the name of the user who has created the document. So for that, again I'm going to use template literal syntax, and this document will also have a created by field, right? So here I want to show the name of the user who has created that document. And then I also want to add a line break. So for that, I'm going to use this escape sequence \n, and that's it. So this is the content which I want to write in the file. And to write something in the file, we are going to make use of this fs module. On that, I'm going to use writeFileSync method. There, as the first argument, we need to specify the path of the file. So remember that here I'm writing this logic inside hotel.js file. But this code, basically this function, it will be executed from our root folder, from our project directory. We are running this Express application from our project directory, right? So we need to specify the path of this log.txt file relative to the root directory, to the project directory. So in the project directory, we need to go to logs folder, and inside that logs folder, we have log.txt file. Again, here I'm specifying the relative path from the root directory and not from hotels.js file. And the reason for that is our Express application is running from root directory. If I go to terminal, you will see that I'm running this application from root directory, from our project directory, from book my state directory, right? So since I'm running this npm start command from the root directory, from the project directory, here I need to specify the relative path from the project directory. Then as the second argument, we need to specify the content which we want to write to the file, that I have inside this content variable. So I'm going to pass that. As the third argument, we are going to specify some options. Here what I want is, if the log.txt file already have some logs, I don't want to override it with the new log message. Instead, I want to append the new log message to the older ones. And for that, here we can set a flag to A, which stands for append. So here it is going to append the content instead of overriding it. And finally, I'm going to pass a callback function here, which will be called if some error has occurred while writing to the file. And this callback function is going to receive the error object. All I'm going to do is I'm simply going to log that error, basically the error message in the terminal. So for that, I'll say error.message. And I have a spelling mistake, so it should be error.message. Let's save the changes. So here I'm creating a post save hook, and whenever a hotel document is successfully saved in the hotels collection, this post save hook will be called. It is going to execute this function, and inside this function we are logging the save operation. So now if I save the changes, let's go to Postman and let's create one more hotel document. I'm going to call it as hotel 4, and rest other things I'm going to keep same. If I send this request, we have received 201 created. So hotel 4 has been created. Now if I go to VS Code and there if I go to log.txt file, you'll also see that a message has been logged. So first we have the current date and time, and then we have the message. A hotel document with the name test hotel 4 Mumbai is created by, and then I have the name of the created by user. So it is logging as expected, but I can see we have some formatting errors. So first of all, after the hotel name, we should also have one more single quote, which I'm not seeing. So here we are saying, okay, here it should end with a single quote, and then here also it should end with a single quote. Okay, let's save the changes. Let's create one more hotel document. So let's go back to Postman. This time let's create test hotel 5. Let's send the request. So the hotel document has been created. Let's check the log file. So in the new line, we have a new log. Okay. And here again, we have the current date and time. And then it says a new hotel document with the name. The test hotel 5 Mumbai is created by this user. And then we have a dot. And for some reason, after that, I can also see the single quotes. So actually, this single quotes I need to remove from here. All right, so our post save hook is working as expected. So here what we have done is we have created a document middleware which will be executed after the save operation is complete, after the document is saved in the database. And in the same way, we can create post hooks for other operations. For example, for validate, for updateOne, for deleteOne, for init, etc. So if you want to execute some logic after a document has been updated in a database collection, you can create a post hook for updateOne. In the same way, if you want to create a post hook after a document is deleted from a MongoDB collection, for that also you can use a post hook, a post document middleware hook. Okay. So the very important point which you need to remember is that a document middleware is created for only these operations, for validate, save, updateOne, deleteOne, and init. If you create a middleware function for count or for find, that will not be called as document middleware. It will be called as query middleware. And in the next lecture, we are going to learn about the query middleware. And again, just like how we can create multiple pre-hooks for the same operation, in the same way, we can also create multiple post hooks for the same operation. And they will be executed in the order in which they have been defined. So about the document middleware, you need to understand that we can use it for save, validate, init, updateOne, and deleteOne. Now, this save event is triggered when we call save method or create method. This validate event is called when we call save method, because we have learned when we use save method to save a document in the collection, before that it triggers the schema validation. So this save method internally calls the validate method. Or when we use the validate method explicitly, at that time also it raises this validate event. So in these two cases, the validate event will be raised. And this init event is raised, it is triggered after a document is initialized from the database. And this happens when Mongoose converts raw MongoDB data into a Mongoose document. For example, after we have used find method to fetch all the documents from a collection, it needs to be saved in an array. So in our Express application, when that array is initialized with the documents which is fetched from the database, at that time this init event will be raised. Alright, so in the last lecture and in this lecture, we learned about document middlewares. We learned about pre and post hook document middlewares. If you have any questions about the document middleware from the last lecture or from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. This is all from this lecture. Thank you for listening and have a great day.